Hello and welcome. In this video, I will be sharing with you a simple, intuitive mandala to help you celebrate and honor the autumnal equinox, a time of the year where both day and night are equal, are balanced. My name is Beth. I am a creatively fit coach and intentional creativity teacher. I love to share creative tools with you that help you unlock your inner creative and a deeper connection to yourself. Oh, the autumnal equinox, a day of balance. So it's kind of a time where you can rest and reflect and take inventory. Where are you balanced? Where aren't you balanced? What seeds did you plant in the spring that you're ready to harvest and celebrate? What things do you need to let go of? It's just a beautiful time to just check in. That's what I think nature is a beautiful teacher in showing that. I happen to live in an area that has the 4 distinct seasons, and I'm very grateful for that. I love the change visually. You can see it. So the leaves are starting to change, and I was going for a hike the other day. It happened to be cool out, and I love listening to the crunch of the leaves under my feet and just watching the leaves fall from the trees. And it wasn't, what I was observing was, it wasn't like this clunk leaf, right? They float, they flitter, they dance down. So it just is, I have this inquiry of how can I let go in that way? How can I let go in a lighter way? So I am thinking of that during this time. I'm thinking of the seeds I planted in the spring, and I'm so grateful for the abundance that it has given me, both in my garden, both fruits and vegetables. Also, the seeds I planted in, I wanted to nourish and nurture relationships. And I feel I've done that, and I want to celebrate those deeper connections that I have created. So it's both external and internal. Recently, I was watching a video with Whitney Freya and Kim Sales. It was Sacred Symbol Mandala. And in it, Kim said, stay playful, stay curious, and create love all over the canvas. So that is what I want to invite during this time. Stay in the flow of your heart and stay playful, curious, and create love all over your canvas. So I will be using a canvas, pen, and paint. Now the canvas I'm using, I've used for the last couple of years. Yesterday, I painted it over with the white gesso. So I just keep adding the energy of this autumnal equinox over the years. It just has this really delicious energy. I also am not going to be finishing this painting during our time together. I will be painting this for hours, days, weeks, months. So I invite you, this canvas, allow it to be a living, breathing thing. Allow it to transform the way it needs to transform. I will continue to paint on this until December 20th, which is the day before winter solstice. And then I will put it up on my wall and get it back down next autumn equinox. Because in nature, we're just at the beginning of autumn. There's still a lot of leaves on the trees. There's still growth happening. But by December 20th, the landscape is going to look very different. There's not going to be leaves on the trees. The evergreens will shine. The garden will be resting. So I like to reflect that in the painting. I like it to, even within yourself, just see how you are. There is this life, death, and rebirth that happens during autumn. It's such a beautiful experience. And I like to express that on the canvas. So that being said, I am going to change the angle of the camera. But before I do, I'm going to invite you to pause this video, go out into nature, and find something in nature that feels yummy to you, that calls to you. And we are going to add that energy onto the canvas. So pause the video, go out in nature. It could be a leaf, a flower, a stone, whatever feels right for you. And then come on back and we'll get started. Hey, so to begin, I like to add a blessing or anoint this canvas with whatever you went out in nature, whatever called to you in nature. For me, it was this dahlia, this beautiful dahlia, which I planted this dahlia in the spring 6 months ago, and it took forever to start to grow that I gave up on it. And then I went back and nourished it. And there was this push-pull with this dahlia. And now 6 months later, it gifted me with this beauty, this beautiful flower. And then I looked up what the symbolism was for the dahlia. And the symbolism is enduring kindness and grace, even when things are hard. So I want to add that energy onto the canvas. So to do this, I'm going to invite you to grab the water that you're going to use to paint with. And we're going to dip whatever you received in nature, dip it in the water. And I'm going to do a blessing for the canvas. Now, my words might not resonate with you. Find your own words. So from me, may this blessing of change bring you an abundance of joy, love, health, and happiness. And the energy of the dahlia, kindness and grace. And now I'm going to put what you had in nature, and I invite you to put it in the water. That is going to infuse the water with that energy. So the next thing I invite you to do is grab a pen. And we are going to write our gratitude. So we'll say, I am grateful for, my gesso is still a little wet. And then just popcorn style what you're grateful for. When the flow is stopped, I stop. I don't want it to get in my mind. I want to stay in my heart. So now I'm just going to invite you to put your hands on the canvas. And close your eyes and feel in your heart gratitude. Allow that gratitude to overflow from your heart, down your shoulders, your elbows, your fists, rest. Allow the gratitude to flow to your fingertips and out onto the canvas. Allow the gratitude to fill the canvas. And now with your eyes closed, and now your intention back to the autumnal equinox. What 5 symbols would represent this time for you? What 5 symbols would represent balance, celebration, harvest, letting go? And when you have those 5 symbols, I'm going to invite you to draw them on the canvas. Oh, mine was taking a spoon and the moon heart, and now this, once you have them on the canvas, this doesn't mean this is just the beginning. So what I'm saying is, don't hold tight to these symbols. Allow them to move. Maybe they'll transform into something else, or maybe they will make it to the mandala. We will find out, won't we? So the next thing is grabbing your paint, and now we're just going to cover the canvas with whatever colors are calling to you for this time. You might actually be surprised. I am inviting you to lead with your heart. And allow this to be intuitive. Allow this, your muse, to guide you. And just to be in the flow. I thought I was going to do one color, and listening to my muse, we're doing a different color. So you're just going to cover your canvas. What I'm thinking of here, what surprised me is I thought I would do the normal orange and reds and yellows, but instead I was thinking about the sky. The sky just has this different color blue, I think, during this time. It's beautiful. It's so crisp and yeah, beautiful. So as you are filling in, covering your background, the inquiries are, what has grown? What has grown since the spring equinox? What do you want to keep? What do you want to receive? What are you grateful for? What do you want to celebrate? What was your greatest achievement? Where did you contribute? Where was your contribution to the harvest? What was your greatest challenge? What were you out of balance? Where do you feel you need balance? What do you have an abundance of that you can share? Hmm. When you have your background covered, um, the paint will be wet, so you can either dry it with a blow dryer or come to back to this painting at a later time. I personally like to paint when it's still wet in the background. Um, because there's always a surprise. It creates a color or does something unexpected. And I personally, I like that. But whatever you feel you want to do. And the next thing we'll be doing is creating the line-ish. We're going to be creating lines to create the structure of the mandala. I'm doing this freehand. If you want to get a ruler out, I'd say go for it, whatever you feel like you want to do. So I'm just going to lightly create these lines. So I'm just going to connect corner to corner. And as you can see, I'm not worried about a solid line. I just need a little guidance. Right. These right. Not worried about perfection in this. I'm more focused on and staying focused in the feeling of this autumnal equinox, right? So if you start to get up in your logical, critical, you can put your paintbrush and then your non-dominant hand. That is always helpful. So at the center, what right now just feels as the symbols that you have created right now, what symbol would represent where your heart space is right now? And then you're just going to draw that here. For me, what's coming up is a daisy. I am grateful. And what's in my heart is the childlike awe and wonder of the world. I'm grateful for that. I treasure that genuine roots. And now the other symbols you had, um, what would be the next layer out from your heart to represent this time of year, this celebration and honoring of this time? What symbol would represent that you created that feels yummy to you? For me, it is focusing on the nourishment of the relationship and the community. So I'm representing that with a bee. I'm just going to draw a simple bee. I'm not worried about it being perfect. Focus is more about the feelings and the representation, not getting caught up in the logic of it. And there's something here. Wanted to make it, the bees are coming and going. There's movement, movements in the community. Hmm. So, what's coming up next for me, which I didn't have as on my 5 symbols, I just was thinking about the spider web here. I'm seeing spider web. And just thinking about in the fall, the beautiful spider web in the morning dew. And thinking the symbolism of the spider, right? Creator, the artist. And the spider that can catch and create these gorgeous, intricate spider webs every night. Oh, I feel like the next layer, you see, you just kind of organically just see what symbol wants to come into the next. So I'm thinking of Moon phases absolutely represents for me cycles. And during the autumnal equinox, it is kind of the equivalent of the last quarter moon. So the last quarter moon. So you already had the full moon, and now you're going back to the new moon, which would be winter solstice. So right now in autumn, it is last quarter moon. That is going to represent the last quarter moon. We'll do the opposite on the other to represent the southern hemisphere. I want to make this will be the full moon, the full and new moon to be represented there. And then I'm thinking I want to do spirals within these others. The spirals for me are symbolizing connection to cycles, connection to the season. And just continually going around. I feel like I want to add a heart, like a big heart there. And the corners. And the heart for me are representing the obvious love. But you come up with whatever symbols are feeling yummy to your heart. And you just keep adding and expanding. Follow where your muse wants to take you. And allow little surprises to come through too. That is my only invitation, is to stay in muse, stay in the flow. These hearts. Well, I had the other symbols in the first layer, but the whole spider web, I'm loving that. And that was just a surprise that I just kind of allowed to come through and not be so rigid and controlling, just allow it to kind of flourish and evolve. And now, is that 5? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 6. You know what? 7. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, more than I have 6. Put as many symbols as you want. basically. So now I'm just going to color in the symbols with, again, intuitively listening. And yeah, just allow it to keep unfolding. Allow yourself to give yourself grace. Remember, play, be curious, and create love all over your canvas. And we're just connecting into this energy of the autumnal equinox. Where do you want to celebrate? What do you want to harvest? What do you want to let go of? And just checking in. And if you get too up in your head, you can put your paintbrush in the non-dominant hand. You can paint with your fingers. Because it's not about the painting, it is about the process. Okay. Creating a mandala, because you are going around and around, and your eyes are going around and around, it helps to synthesize your right and left brain. Basically, it gives them their incoherence with each other. They, which allows then for you to just be in flow. These are cute little things that I ever did this. Well, just go where your heart goes. For me, in this connection, I felt for this red thread of connection, right? The connection of the red thread. The iron that flows through our veins. or the same iron that flows to the stars is the same iron that flows in the earth. That is a web of connection. The other thing I'm thinking is I personally like to see the layers underneath. Or you can, cover it completely too. Really up to you. You just stay in the realm of being playful, being curious, creating love all over the campus in this time of balance of the autumnal equinox. So I personally am going to stop here because I could go on and on and on. I invite you to stay here as long as you want. I invite you to keep adding and letting this transform for months to come until the winter solstice. Ah. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope it was of service to you, and I hope you just continue to dive into this delicious time of the autumnal equinox of this autumn season and see what insights and wisdom it has to share with you. Thank you again. Bye for now.